The roundup has begun, and it's taking place right under your noses. It's happening right before your very eyes. If you're a patriot, if you're a Christian, if you don't fit in with the New World Order, one world government, one world religion, globalists, the elites agenda, you're part of Agenda 21. And like I said, it's happening right now, right underneath your very nose, right before your very eyes. It begins with the poor, the destitute, those in poverty, the homeless, and I've reported on this numerous times. Agenda 21, to reduce the population. They only want those that will fit in with this new world order, this one world government. I've done so many reports on my channel of what has taken place in South Carolina, where they rounded up the homeless and put them in a facility. They're saying it's not a FEMA camp, but it's got fencing all along the facility, barbed wire turned in, and with an armed guard. It's kind of like the Hotel California. You can enter anytime you like, but you can never leave. It's happening all over the United States. It's happening in Detroit, Michigan. Let me share this with all of you, because it begins with the homeless, and then the Christians, the patriots, those that just simply don't fit the globalists and the elites' New World Order agenda. And I've reported on this, Detroit police picking up the homeless and dumping them outside of the city. They actually drive around in white vans. I did a video on this not too long ago. And they round up the homeless and put them in the back of these unmarked white vans and drive them out of the city. And no one seems to know what's happening to them. And this comes from Al Jazeera website. Detroit's homeless say they are driven out of downtown. Some homeless make accusations that police pick them up and drive them out of town away from new development. And this is from MLive, Michigan Live News. Bay City, where I reported on a homeless gentleman was found frozen to death in the bed of an empty trailer, a truck trailer. Bay City, like Flint and Burton, Michigan, cracking down on panhandling with citations and arrests, rounding up the homeless, making it a crime to be out there with a cardboard sign saying, "I will work for food." There's a big problem in Michigan. Michiganville targets aggressive panhandling, going on the attack of the poor and the homeless. And this story posted this morning at 7:20 a.m. FEMA camp roundup has begun. The homeless first, and the homeless are the first to be rounded up. Let me get my mark here. It begins with the homeless, then another group, then another, until, well, just remember Germany. It isn't pretty. In August, according to MSN1, the Colombian City Council unanimously approved the plan creating special police patrols that would enforce quality of life laws involving loitering, public urination, and other crimes not necessarily restricted to the homeless population. Those officers would then offer the homeless a choice: go to jail for their homelessness or be shuffled to a 240-bed, 24-hour shelter on the outskirts of town, which they wouldn't be allowed to leave. And it's getting worse. It's getting worse, and it's just getting worse. Yes, it's happening all across hometown USA, in your own backyard. Open your eyes, people. It's happening big time in the city of Flint and Detroit, Michigan. In Flint, Michigan, they have made it illegal to panhandle, even though it is unconstitutional. The Burton police, now the Flint police, have followed suit, like I said, and they are arresting the homeless, putting them in jail, rounding them up, getting them off of the corner. There's an event that is going to take place in Flint, Michigan in August, in just a few weeks from now, called Back to the Bricks. This was put on by General Motors. Remember General Motors? But moved out of the city of Flint, Flint Vehicle City, where everyone was prospering in the city of Flint at one time. The very hands that made these classic cars are now holding cardboard signs with their weather-beaten faces. I deal with them every day with our homeless outreach ministry. They want to clean up the city of Flint and Grand Blanc, Michigan, and Burton, Michigan, and Detroit, Michigan for the Dream Cruise, and especially Flint for this classic car cruise, which will draw people from all over Michigan, Ohio, and Kentucky, and Tennessee, and Florida. You can't have the very hands that built these classic cars holding the cardboard sign. It's going to make General Motors look bad, so they're going to clean up the city and get rid of the homeless. Now, this is an event that will take place. It takes place every year. Next month in early August is called Back to the Bricks, and this is a classic car show. You got to remember, Flint, Michigan is known as Flint Vehicle City, where a lot of these classic cars were built. General Motors, and people had jobs, and the city was flourishing, and the economy. When General Motors left Flint, Michigan, it devastated the population, and people lost their jobs and they're homeless. Now, the very people whose hands built these classic cars today are on the corner, or they were on the corner holding a cardboard sign. They've lost everything and found themselves without a job, without income, and homeless. But now they're being rounded up by the Burton Police Department in Flint. Burton passed an unconstitutional law prohibiting panhandling, and it was already through Lansing, Michigan, deemed unconstitutional, but Burton went ahead and voted and ignored, I guess, the Supreme Court ruling, and now Flint is following suit, arresting, harassing, putting the homeless in jail and running them out of the city. They don't want any homeless on the corner during this event, Back to the Bricks, that's coming up in August. So they're on a sweep, a sting of the homeless now to get them off of the street, because you can't have people coming from all over the United States and other states, Ohio and Tennessee and Florida, onto the old brick road in Flint to look at these classic cars, and then to see the homeless, the ones that lost everything thanks to General Motors. So the homeless are under siege and under attack. Ministries like mine, Inner City Outreach Ministry to the homeless, and YouTube channels like this one, we're out on the front lines. We're out there every day, and we're in a war. It's a war zone out there, and we're trying to save lives. We're in a battle. Channels like this that talk about the homeless being rounded up and the poverty, trying to go out and feed the homeless. We don't draw the attention or the excitement as other Christian channels that are talking about blood moons and major prophecy events and fireballs and asteroids and things like that. That's where the church's attention is drawn. But we're out here and we're trying to make a difference, and we're trying to save lives. But I'm going to put a warning out, and you need to heed the warning. It begins with the poor, and it begins with the homeless. And then you're next. Not far from where I live, they have now erected a facility in Holly, Michigan, called Michigan Task Force 1. It's equipped with a helicopter landing pad. What is this facility? Out in a cornfield. What is it? What is it there for? Be ready, be awake, be aware, because the roundup has begun. The attack and onslaught of the homeless. We're doing the best we can with this ministry. We're fighting this good fight of faith. But I want to warn you that next, it could be the roundup of the American Christian and American Patriot. Thanks for watching. I'll put the links below if you would like to contribute to this ministry and outreach to the homeless and poor. We're fighting a war, and we need some soldiers to help. Thanks for watching.